Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a recording of the installation of Windows 10 and I'm going to do the full screen so you won't see Manjaro Linux at the back. So here we go. We set United Kingdom. You're going to set your own language there if you want to. This it does take a long time. Say you don't have a product key, you'll be able to install your own product key for as many machines as you want with this disk. I've got it from the store at Windows 10. No, sorry. That's webhousing.co.uk. So we click on that, drive allocated, and now it's going to copy our file to there. This it takes about an hour and a half installation for Windows 10. Switching off and switch it is on again 4 times, so you've got plenty of time to go in the T. But Windows 12 Lite and Manjaro Linux is installed in about 15 minutes, so you don't have to spend so much time. And once it starts the installation, you can go away and leave it, unlike Windows 10. So we'll have to edit this with Kdenlive, which I will show you how to install Kdenlive on Manjaro Linux after this video, and then we can have tutorials. So I'll do a tutorial on Thunderbird, the mail client, the Libreoffice, which is the equivalent of Office but actually far superior. The only thing it doesn't do is PDF files editing, but Windows Office doesn't do that very well anyway, because you have a lot of editing to do. So it's a lot better to go to a free site on the web to have it done for you. And anyway, so then we're going to have a tutorial on Gimp, selling a castle, putting a flagpole up, and resizing the billboard to show you how to make different size of images, how to make a flagpole. That's when you're starting completely new. How to put colours in, and how to chop out files from images. It'll also point you away to sell your house for free on webhousing.co.uk, and on the same site you will also be able to get domain names and hosting, and you then can see tutorials on setting up your website. So we will actually do a little bit of that by getting FileZilla and Geany, so we can upload our files we've made to our website. So we'll do a little bit of translation for if you get some Chinese or Italian emails, and then you can translate them and reply in their own language. It's very impressive. So hopefully you watch these tutorials and got to the end. You can, if you know Windows, you can skip through the video and go to the Makulu editing tutorials. Also show how in Makulu you can set up a slideshow, which is very nice. It has lots of slides, far more than any other one I've seen. And after this, we commit it to it commits itself to switching off and switching on again. It says wait, just wait a moment, and those moments are about 10 minutes. And sometimes it just keeps repeating itself and gives different expressions for wait times, and eventually we should get to the Windows 10 desktop. And then of course we will when we've got that, we'll show you how to put your security key in, which they call activation, and you have to do this within 30 days, otherwise you lose your access. After activating, you can activate on as many machines as you want with this from webhouses.co.uk. So I'll leave it there. I'll come back when it gets to features you might be interested in, and I edit a lot of this out. Right. So now it's just your nationality and the keyboard. We choose United Kingdom, and skip a second keyboard. We can have a second one for a second language. Some more just a moments. So this just a moment is quite a while, so we'll pause. Now it asks you all your personal questions. Oh, it's personal use. The organisation is very intrusive. So we don't want to sign in with Microsoft. We go to offline account. We don't want all that. The apps, you can if you want. I'll put Geany, my friend, down because I have an email address, geany@geanymiller.co.uk. And the password, I don't put a password in, so I just click on that. of course you'll probably want to put a password in. Don't want to learn more? No, you may like to learn more. I decline the digital assistance. Most people don't like it. It takes up a lot of time. Don't use online speech recognition, but you can accept that if you want to. Location, don't want that. And you can do that. I always use basic because it sends too much reporting. It takes a lot of time and slows your machine down. Don't use data to improve your language. No tips because they're just adverts. No number enters don't change, so you don't want that either. Whir again for quite a while. Switch off again. I think it switches off in about 4 times at least. Yes. It says we're getting everything ready for you, so that might take quite a while. Yes. So now, as for network, so yes, it's finished installing and welcome to Windows. And tries to get you to go to their store. Remove that. Now, this is here we were successful. This is the File Explorer. It's not as good as others ones. See, it doesn't even put the DVD up. You have to look for the DVD. And yes, we've got it. Now we want to activate. We go to the Activate folder and we want to right click as administrator and say yes. We have to be connected to the internet for this, and so you can activate on as many machines as you want. That is of course only if you're using this special disk, Windows 10 installation disk. It's the latest version. But of course you can also get Windows 12 Lite from the set and boot alongside it, so you get no viruses anymore. Or you can have the boot alongside Mac or Linux. There's no reason. I would suggest you don't need to restart. A bit pointless that. I would suggest you get Macaloo on your drive, so dual booting. Then put Windows 12 Lite on as well as the third one. The reason for this is the Windows 12 Lite has a boot screen which remembers what you last booted. Unfortunately, Mac or Linux doesn't do that, so then you get the best of all worlds. the Windows 12 Lite boots up in about 15 seconds. Macaloo takes a bit longer. I've not worked it out yet, so perhaps I'll tell you later. So that's all installed, and of course you could install Firefox to replace Microsoft Edge, which is a really poor browser, and Thunderbird, which is a mail browser, much better than this one. I don't know what they call this. Welcome to Mail. I don't know what they actually call this one. Yeah. Oh, it's called Outlook, is it? Yeah. Okay. So we'll stop there. Now I have to edit these Windows 10, and I'm going to add Manjaro. So here is the Kdenlive editor, and the little space in the middle here is a space I've created by moving these two apart, chopping them out and leaving a space. I can move this along later to make more space, and I'm going to put this here into the file, so that it will add this extra instructions here, because we're going to show you Manjaro, which you can dual boot with Windows 10. It's a very good system, and there'll be some tutorials included in it, including writing letters in Chinese or whatever language you want to do, or sending emails in Arabic, etc. So you start up with English, and then you can translate the incoming emails as well. So there's lots in Manjaro, you can see, and so in it there is a little tutorial on using the terminal, where you can download files and install. I forgot to mention in that when you just type in the name of your file, like FileZilla or LibreOffice, it will run the file. So that's a little tip I forgot to mention. There's probably more, but maybe I can remember them later and add another clip here. So this is well worth watching, so please watch it. I hope you enjoy it. This is the front screen of Welcome to Manjaro, and it will install in about 7 seconds, but I will click and force the install. Now it takes a little while, but it is going until it starts giving some text. There we are, we've got some text. So we'll come back after it's got its first screen. So this is the first screen. So we click on that use group Windows list. Now you could click on launch installer to install, or there is an icon here, install Manjaro. So you double click on that. Now it says American English. Well, we want to spell colour correctly, so we will go and use British English and click next. It's found we're in London, so we click on that because he got that from the Ethernet. So we click on next. Now here you would have a sign saying Windows. Do you want to install alongside it? That is, if you have Windows. If you want to dual boot, click on that. And we don't have Windows, so we click on Erase Disk and we go to Next. Now put your name in. And click on login automatically. I don't want the extra passwords, but of course if you want to be secure, then you don't click that, the last. Now we click on LibreOffice. You cannot install FreeOffice later if you want to. So install, that is last chance, install now. Now it has 5 slideshows and it keeps repeating, so we won't go through all that. It would take about 20 minutes until it says all done. So we'll wait until it says all done. Now it says there are 3 official versions. We're installing the Manjaro Cinnamon. It's most like the desktop of Windows, so that's a good point to remember. And later in one of these, it's going to tell you it's got 2 package managers for installing software, Pacman and Octopi. So here it is. So remember that, Octopi, and we'll install that. Now we've arrived at all done. So you have to remove your media now, DVD or USB. Otherwise, when you reboot, it will try and start again, installing. So I click on Restart now. And then we see if it does anything. Now Manjaro has come back after booting. If you had Windows, you would have been given a screen, the Manjaro screen with picture icons of Windows and the H of Manjaro. That is this little one here. It's supposed to be a H. I had to work that one out. And then you use group window list. Now you're all ready to go. You're ready to add icons to the screen. So there's things like you'll need to add LibreOffice. You see we've got LibreOffice countries, base, calculator, draw, impress, math, writer. Impress is another word for saying Excel. So we right click and add to desktop, and we do the favourite which we're going to edit with for graphic files, GNU image manipulation program, commonly known as Gimp. So we add that to the panel, and we also add it to the desktop because we're going to use this a lot. Where's that? Gimp is in graphics. There we are. And add to the desktop. Now you'll see that Firefox is installed on the panel, so we just go to the internet again and we add it to the desktop. Now you need 2 clicks on Firefox on the desktop and only 1 click on the panel, so it's quicker to use the panel. So now another very good one we're going to use, you can see the little picture of it here, and it sets up your desktop and everything. So we go to all applications and we go down to S, where is it? There, system settings, it's called system settings, and we add that to the desktop. So with system settings we can do that. Now we can get rid of this this Manjaro hello, and just in case you want it back again, we can add that to the desktop. So I think it's called hello, Manjaro hello. So we add that to desktop, and then we can click on it to get that desktop back. And so here we can look at the forums, which you have to sign into. I don't think they're coming up because of the internet problem there. Oh, it is. It's brought up Firefox and it's going to the community. So you can ask your questions there. You have to register, but I hope I'm going to answer all your questions when you see the rest of the tutorial. So yes, now I forgot to mention on the installation, you must put Manjaro as the last partition, otherwise unlike any other distro, it insists on being last, and if you add another distro, the Manjaro fails if you try to boot it, and it also must be the last because if you boot it, install it before another distro, it won't see that distro. So anyway, the point is the Manjaro insists on being last. It's rather like Windows insisting that there's nothing else but Windows, and never puts up a grub screen like this Manjaro grub screen with all the icons and you choose the boot. And of course you've got 5 seconds to boot into a system, otherwise it goes to the one that's listed. So we close that down again, and we'll do some more work, some interesting things I've added. So this is the screen you get when it boots up again. You have the Manjaro hello. You can fetch you up again if you add Manjaro hello to your desktop. I've added a few things here. I've added Gimp, Libreoffice, Manjaro hello, and Thunderbird, and here this, very useful. This you know, you can look at your hard drive, CD-ROM, and any USBs you've got in there. So if you put this on your desktop, that's okay. We can switch this, get rid of this. That gives you the forums, the chat room, mailing list, and documentation. So we can remove that, and yeah. So what we can do now is add the settings manager. So the settings manager, we go down to settings manager. There we are. System settings it's called. So we right click and add it to the desktop. When we double click on system settings, we get the manager up. So let's change the backgrounds. Here we've got the GNOME selection. You can put in your pictures. You can put your own picture if you want to. So so you can have a desktop of whatever you like there. In the GNOME picture, you've got all these different pictures. If you click on them, they change to whatever it is. Symbolic doesn't seem to be. Oh yes, they're very small items. Right. Okay. If you want to make a slideshow, you click on settings and play backgrounds as a slideshow. So you can have a delay or whatever you set there. I've set it for a minute. Another thing you should do is you go to screensaver and set your screensaver to never if you've got desktop or whatever time you want for if it's a laptop and it's not powered and powered. If it's powered, you can set it to never. Right. Same thing happens with the power manager. You set that to never if you've got a desktop or you've got a powered laptop, because otherwise you'll have to keep entering your password when the screensaver comes on, and it is a bit time wasting. Now I want to show you a terminal. This terminal is where you can install lots of software, and the best way of using the terminal is just to make yourself as a super user. So you type sudo su and put your password in. Right. Now, if you want to install something, you say pacman -s install, and you can do Firefox, FileZilla. Right. So it tells you how large it is, so you say yes, and it installs FileZilla. Now FileZilla you will need if you want to make websites, and with FileZilla you can then put your files onto your web service providers FTP site. Now another one you need to do is Geany, which goes along with FileZilla. That's the editor. It's a very powerful editor that does coding as well. Now we try and put Geany in. Right, now it has not found it. Now this is probably because it is not in the repositories. Now to get to repositories, you do pacman -s, capital S and double Y. But you have to remember all these things. So we will make an alternative to make it easy by typing alias repo for repositories equals, and in quotes, the command you would use. Oh. So it's pacman SYYY and end quotes. So now if you type repo it updates your repositories. Now a similar one to upgrade, I'll do alias pacman, and the upgrade function is yu, and we'll say that is upgrade. So I don't know what's actually going to happen here. If we type upgrade, I hope it's not a long upgrade. Full system upgrade. Well, I won't do that now because it might take too long. So I say no. Right. Right, so we're finished with that. Now, this is pacman -s is a little bit difficult to remember, and this is the only distro that does it. For example, Fedora and Red Hat, they use Yum or DNF. Both work, and most of the Ubuntu series and Windows 12 Lite use apt-get actually, but you just use apt now, and you'll find most instructions when you ask how to install something, use the apt command. So let's do an alias for apt, and that is just pacman -s, which is equivalent. So if we want to install something, you can say pacman -s install, or just install. So we'll do apt install. I'll try for Geany again. No, it's not found it. So let's try K3B, which is the burner for discs if you've got a DVD. That's not found either. Just check if it's not a capital K. It's very rare that they use capitals. No, it's still not found. Okay, well, that shows you how to upgrade, how to add and install things. That's odd. Telling it, well, yes. Okay, so that's a useful tool, a terminal tool. There's many commands, and you should really find some videos about the terminal for the many commands it does. It's a very useful tool. Now we will try the software. I've added the software to the desktop, so we'll try if we can find Geany. So here we use the looking glass and type Geany. There we are. We can install Geany. Now, of course, this way it does take a lot longer than the terminal. So you choose anything, the optional dependencies, and you have to enter your password. Right. So you click on apply, and it takes 6 minutes. So it's it also does something called hooks afterwards, and they don't always work, and sometimes you have to switch it off. Now that's we'll leave that going, so we'll put that one down there, and we'll put the terminal out of the way. Now let's just get an email up first. See, this is the email I just installed. If you want to add more email, you click on email and enter your name, your email address, and the password for your account. Now I've used Windows 12 here, and I've written some things here which I'll use later. Copy that, then I'll come back to it. So that's another account. You can email me. It's windows12lite@mail.com. Mail.com is very good because you can use a browser to access your mail just as well you can use Thunderbird or any other mail client. Now here is the calendar. So we can click on tomorrow. There's nothing happening tomorrow. Upcoming 5 days, nothing happening there. So let's put an event in here. Right. So we put a new event. So say we have a party. Location, we say House of Commons. and we set the date. We'll leave the dates like that and the time like that. You can change those, right? It doesn't repeat, so but we want a reminder. So we will set a reminder for 2 days, and then we say save and close. Right, now because it's 2 days away, it's already given us a reminder, so we can snooze it by click on snooze, and we set for 1 day, so tomorrow it will pop up again, and of course then you can set all the times at 5 hours, 4 hours, and even minutes there, right? So now there's another thing I'd like to add. A bit awkward because I'm not sure where the there we are, the menu bar. Right, now we've got the menu bar here, and here we can go to in-edit preferences. Now here you can play a sound. There isn't a default sound. I'll try it. No, it doesn't work. So let us get a sound. So we'll search for I have mail sounds. Right. You have mail sounds. Here. This is the one. The sound archive, right? So I'll take the WAV file, download the WAV file, save the file, so use the following sounds, so we'll browse it. Open. Let's just test it. Yeah, I think this one. Play. So every time you get an email, it plays the sound. Now let's go to pictures, and you right click on a picture, and you can open it with Pix, but I'm opening it with Gimp, which is a GNU image manipulation program, the 2.10 version, which is the latest one. So we can get the castle up. Now it says it's the wrong format, so we convert it. So we can convert into anything and from anything here. And if you've got a PDF file, it also imports a PDF file, because PDF file is an image anyway. Now there we've got a picture. So I want to make a flagpole here and put a sale sign on to sell this castle. So how we do that? Let's see. We make a flagpole. So just as we do make anything at the beginning, we make a box of white usually, So we'll make the flagpole 20 pixels wide and height of 600 pixels. We could have changed this to inches, millimeters, points, but pixels, 70 pixels is an inch on the screen, so that's a good reminder. Say OK. So now we've got a picture, and it's taken the background colour there, because this is foreground and background colour on the left hand side here, which you can switch. Now what we want to do is switch this and make this a foreground colour. Now we want to make the flagpole blue, so we click on the panel and we change the colour. So we change it to blue. No, let's change it. Let's have a red flagpole, because I want to show you the colour picker. So you click the colour picker, and well, we'll have a magenta one. Well, it's actually purple, isn't it? Because yeah, oh, it's supposed to. Yeah, so that is magenta, isn't it? But you know, purple. So OK, we say OK, and now we have the actual foreground, that colour. Now if we take a bucket here, this is the bucket filler tool, click on the bucket filler, take it over here and click on there, we've now got our purple flagpole. It's quite a thick flagpole. Now we won't save this or export it, we'll copy it into the picture. So we'll do copy, or you use Control C and go to our other picture. Now because we're moving things, you have to use a rectangle. So you click rectangle and then go to edit and paste. Now there's the flagpole, so we grab the flagpole and pretend that's a brick wall, so we can screw into it, and now we want to fix that there, because and get rid of the dashed lines. So we go to image and flatten image. So now it's permanently pasted in the. Now let's see if have I got the picture still up? Yes, I have. Now if we go here and we say open with Gimp, we can get it into our page. Right, now we want to erase this and make it all red. So what we'll do is we'll click on here, get the colour eyedropper, pick the colour. It's now taking the colour there. We say OK, and now we get the brush. Now the paintbrush here, we can change the size of the paintbrush, but this is OK. We'll remove all that. Okay. Right. Now we'll put white writing into it. So what we'll do, switch the foregrounds, and so the foreground will be white. Now we go to the text tool and we make a text box first, and we click in the box. Now we could just write type in, but if you remember, I did a control copy of for sale, so hopefully it's still there. So I say control B. Oh, it's not there. Don't know what happened to it. Let's see. That was in. Oh, I know, that was in the email, wasn't it? So go to the inbox. Perhaps I did mark it, but did I do Control C? I don't know. So I'm doing Control C now on the post, and then Control B. Right. But that's sans serif. So I'll change the font to go up to sans serif bold. Right, change. Now we want to make the size bigger, so we increase the here by clicking on there. I always do that. Seems to accelerate on you. Right, 112, let's say 74. Oh dear, oh dear. Of course, I think I'll type it in. So, right, and then just increase it a little bit. Not big, but ferocious. Right, one too many. Right. Okay, now we've flattened this. So we go to image, flatten image, and there it's fixed. Now we're going to do another text box, and we can write in there this time. Please apply, which is obviously too large, so we reduce it, not to 0 of course. I think it's about right there. We can move the text box to center it a bit if we want to. Right. And so we flatten that, so it's now fixed. Now we make another text box, go to the email again, copy these, and Control C, and hover over and press Control B there. Do large again, so let's type in 20, and maybe that's about right. Let's right, and we'll center this a little bit So here we have made our board. So we flatten it, flatten the image, and we do we can do Control C or go to Edit and copy. Go to our picture with the flagpole, and remember, go to rectangles for movement. Edit or Control V, paste it. Now we place it over the flagpole. Now that's a little bit too big, so we go back to our original one, and here we change the size of the images. Scale image, and we make it say 250. Scale. Look at the picture again. It didn't reduce by itself. I was a bit too optimistic there. So let's see if we can cut. No, didn't cut it. Yes. No. Let's move it out of the way and leave it there, and go to the other one, and we do a copy, edit, copy, go to the picture, and then we do Control V and move that one over to there. Right. So we've got a big sign there in the grass, and we've got a big sign there. So, oh yes, yes, that was flattened. Okay, so image, flatten image. There we are. Now we've got the finished picture. Now, you don't save here. You only save your work. You export the picture if you want to put it into your pictures directory. So we'll call it Device Castle with billboard, and it's set for pictures, so I do export and export again. Right, so that one is now saved in the pictures gallery. So you see now it's here with the billboard in the pictures gallery. Now let's open this one here with Gimp. I'll show you another thing. We have to move over a little bit here. we make a rectangle on this item here, and if you remember that here the background is red, so if we do a Control X to extract it, we have a red background, and if we do Shift Control and V, we now have a new image. And of course then you can resize just like you did before. So remember to export this. This is a mobile phone backup adapter actually, with Windows 10 and Linux and Office Word 2019. So you can back up your phones and install Linux Mint 19, Windows 10, and it has Gparted on it, as well as Supergrub 2. Now these two are things, if you have to erase your windows, you delete your windows from your partition, you use Gparted for doing that. Reformat the area as NTFS, that partition as NTFS. Then you can reinstall your Windows. Now Windows doesn't like Linux, so your boot images do not appear anymore. Your grub, there's a boot image folders, like, and Manjaro is actually very good because it does have an image icon for each of the operating systems. So you get the usual little Windows picture, you get the Linux Mint picture, and for this one you get a little H, a little green H, which is a symbol for this system, for Manjaro. Now, oh, and Fedora's got a little, it has its own picture of Fedora, so it's quite clever like that. This system. Later I'll show you a page set up from that. So that's one thing with Gimp, and you can export it. Have we exported it? So we'll export it again then as well. Export. So no, we haven't exported it. So we'll call it mobile phone backup. There's so many people riding the metro, they've lost their mobile phone and their whole life is gone. And if they had done this and backed it up, their life would be not so badly damaged. They just have to buy a new phone. And of course they'd probably go out and buy the most expensive one. When I just have an iPhone 6 and I'm perfectly happy with my iPhone 6. So to close Gimp down, you can either go to File and Quit, or do Control Q, or click here and the usual closing down button, the little crest, and you discard all the changes. That's the changes here because they have been filed there in the system. Now we have Libreoffice on the system. In the office you got Libreoffice. I put it on the desktop, but I'll right click and add it to the panel because one likes to write letters. So you click on there, the panel only needs one click, 2 clicks on the desktop. So that's actually a LibreOffice with nothing in at all. It's never been used. So we can't open a file because there isn't one, so we say new, a new text document. And it gives you tips. The next tip: use the backspace key instead of delete in calculation. Yes, well it does. We don't do. We're not using the calculator at the moment, and it's got release notes up there as well. So that's first time. Yes, so we've got Excel and everything is in LibreOffice, but I've only just put this one on the desktop. Now we can type here. That's great. Now we can also paste in some text. So let's go to the mail server and look at Windows Lite, and we get this and we say Control A to copy everything in that images, and Control C to copy it. Remember, Control A takes the whole images rather than doing it in bit parts. So we can do here Control V, and it has the whole document. Now say we want to write a letter. Pretend this is the letter, which it's not. It's all about SuperGrub T and Windows and Mac or Linux, which is a video I made before this, and Windows 12 Lite, a video before that one. So you look at my channel, my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see all these things, and you can see help in installing Windows Lite and the web houses, and how we made a slideshow on this, and of course I make a slideshow on everything there, you see. Now let's do Control A again, Control C again, and what we want to do is make this into Chinese. Very simple. We'll make a new document, new text document. You see, you can make spreadsheet, presentation, HTML document, and the HTML document can go onto your websites. So we're just doing a new text document. So there we are. We're ready, and so we want to turn this into Chinese. Right. Now let's go get the Chinese. Right. Now we're into the sound archives. Right. Now this is, we've got to hunt for our translator. So Google Translate. Now I get lots of emails of lost parcels to Italy because the postmen keep pinching them. So I go to Google Translate, and I say Control D, and I put it onto the toolbar because it's very useful this. Now I go over here, remember I've saved all the text from that letter, so I say Control B, there we are. Now of course if we click Spanish, it goes all into Spanish. Get the upcoming change in history. So if you know Spanish, you can see it's all your Spanish. Click on Arabic, right. Of course they write different way around, just like the Chinese. So now let's get Chinese. Chinese traditional. There we are. We got Chinese traditional. So we copy that. I think they're making an attempt to do English pronunciation. So Zhu Ying Di Guan Hong. It does sound Chinese, doesn't it? Right, so Control C to copy it. Go to our picture. We go on that one. What's that one? Right one. Okay, there's the right one. So put the Chinese here. Let's just increase the text font size. Control B. Now I think I didn't get all of that. It said more, and you have to do it in smaller pieces. So if you know Chinese, that's interesting because it's starting from the left going to the right. So it's not like our Arabic with read from right to left. It's left to right. That could be wrong. And then you can put Control S to save it, and it goes automatically in Documents, and we call it a Chinese letter. Now you can do that in your emails and everything, you know. So every time you get an email in some foreign language, don't worry, you can translate it, just copy it into there and do your reply in English, and then copy it into the other language and copy it into your reply, and I'm sure it will impress everybody. So we saved that to Chinese. I don't know if we had the Chinese Libreoffice, because there is one, it would do spell checking on it. So that, I think that should be due for the moment. I'll cancel that. I just drop that down because I'll go back to those and okay, so I hope you like the video, and please comment below. All comments are appreciated, especially if you liked it, and Twitter it and tell it to Facebook, and you might even be able to put it on Instagram and other medias like that. So thanks for listening and viewing.